It's pretty intimidating going into a tackle shop or even looking through your mate's lure bags with all the lovely colours and all the different shaped lure heads. And all you want to do is get a set of lures that will work out the back of the boat and catch you a fish. Well, it's not complicated. Let's just run through it very, very simply and very easily. Here we have a nice spread, in fact a good collection of the new Softies Fang lure heads. They're all different and they all do have a purpose. Now with Pakula lures, we've tried incredibly hard to get this system down so it's very easy to understand now. Works like this. When we have short heads, here we have a rat. You can see that it's quite a short head when you compare it to a lure like a bhagwan or a sprocket. You can see that it's shorter and wider. These lure heads are longer and narrower. The short lures go in the short positions, such as the short corner and the short rigger, if you use outriggers, because it's based on the angle of the line going into the water. On a short lure, the angle of the line is quite steep. On a longer lure, the angle of the line increases. So we do need different lure heads so that they all work together at exactly the same time and exactly the same speed. So you do end up with a nice team working all together. The longer heads, such as these ones, go in the longer positions, which are the long corner and the long rigger. Now, if you're not using outriggers and you're still trolling a number of lures, then as your lures go further back, the angle increases. So in that case, you'd be using the longer heads out the back and the shorter heads in close. Okay, that's the basics of it. Now, we've got lots of different size lures here. In fact, we do lures as big as this Smoking Joe, all the way down to this tiny little micro Uzi. So you can see there's a significant difference in the size of those lures. In fact, it's monumental. The reality is that this lure isn't a tuna lure, and it's not a marlin lure, and it's not a wahoo lure. None of these lures are. None of them are species specific. They are all based on bait fish that the fish are eating at the time you are fishing for them. Now, more often than not, fish will be eating small bait fish. Pretty logical, there's a lot more small bait fish out there. The problem is that you never know what the fish are feeding on at the time you're fishing. Quite often you'll see a school of what you think are bait fish, such as striped tuna or small yellowfin tuna. The bait species out there are numerous. Quite often the bigger predators are actually eating exactly the same as the smaller tunas. Quite often that's more likely to be the size bait that fish are eating than the larger lures. Because we don't know what bait the fish are feeding on and what they're going to eat easier, we do choose different size lures in a lure spread. For example, if we're fishing, we don't put out 4 lures the same size such as these. We do try and vary it. The closer to the boat, the bigger the lure. For example, that's a rat, that's a close lure. We would use that close to the boat, and then further out we'd actually go to a smaller lure on the riggers, and on the shotgun we'd go smaller again. The closer to the boat, the bigger the lure. The reason for that is twofold. We're trying to attract the fish through the spread. The larger lures have more attraction than the smaller lures, so we run them closer to the boat. The other reason is that the larger lures have larger hooks. The bigger the hook, the harder it is to set, especially with the stretch of nylon in the water. If you've got 30 yards of nylon out there, there's a lot more stretch than 10 yards. So we prefer to run the bigger hooks closer to the boat with the bigger lures because the hookup rates are just far better. That size is sorted. Now, it's up to you whether you want to use large lures that size or large lures that size. That's up to you. It generally works out at what the area you fish in most commonly uses. In some places in the world, they actually use lures that big for exactly the same species that other places use these lures for the same size fish. The fish are no different. They don't know which country they're in. They really don't have passports or airline tickets. Wherever they are, they do generally seem to feed on exactly the same size boat. So really the size you start with is personal preference. The larger the range of sizes you use, the more fish you're likely to catch. Okay, that's it for sizes. Okay, lure colours. Lots of pretty colours. Which colours do we put where? Now, luckily over the years we've got lots of statistics, we've got lots of information about which colours catch fish, and more than that we've got information on which positions the colours catch the most fish in. For example, black and purple with pink or over purple again works best in the short corner position. So that's the short corner lure in the short corner colour. Then we go out to the long corner. The long corner, we've found that blue and silver over another colour, whether it's green and gold, such as this Evil Angel, or over a pink colour, such as this Fallen Angel colour, works best in the long corner position. Then in the short rigger position, or the next lure out, we've found that purple over blue is by far the best. This colour is called Violetta, other versions of Fuzz, and also colours like this which are called Blue Kona. Okay, nice purple colours. Okay, the next colour out, I hope you've heard of the Lumo Green by now. This is by far the best colour on the long rigger. And then we get to the Shotgun, which is the longest lure out, and the best colour for that is once again a blue combination, or a colour like this one, which is Illusion, which is a Lumo green and blue, and it's also a great position for your pinks. Pinks are an ever increasing colour in popularity, and an awful lot of big fish get caught on pink, so pink's worth trying as well. The Shotgun is the position that you do try your new colours on. The other positions that I've mentioned before, which is the short corner black and purple, long corner blue and silver, short rigger purple and blue, long rigger Lumo green, seems to work incredibly well all over the world, so keep those lures in those positions and play around with the Shotgun. That's really all there is to providing yourself with a good lure pattern.